Hello, and welcome back to Roster Review. I'm T, the judge, jury, and executioner. You submit teams, and I put them on trial. I hope you're all having a great Sunday. You know, I fucking am. It's snowing here, it's the Super Bowl later, I'm gonna get pissed. It's all looking good. If you want one of your rosters to be featured in an episode, please leave a comment telling me who you want to see, and I'll try to feature them in next week's episode. By the way, this series is now actually scheduled to happen every Sunday, intentionally, from now on, so you've got that to look forward to when you come home from church. There's been a new addition to the tier list. I've added a comeback in 2 years tier. It's not actually supposed to be worse than an ACS. It's just basically saying this team currently isn't brilliant, but it's got young players, it's got potential, and we have to give it a lot longer than I would usually give a team on this tier list. Our first team of the day is Na'Vi 2.0. Now, this was put forward by our God tier contributor, Mr. Zelinka. In this team, he has Simple, Perfecto, and Electronic from Na'Vi, and then from Virtus.pro, Buster, and Yekindar. This team is absolutely insane. Now, for those who don't realise, not only have you got arguably the best player in the world, you also have some of the hottest prospects in the world in Yekindar and Electronic. I mean, Electronic's not been a... He's been a prospect for a long time, but he's a beast. Yekindar is a beast. Perfecto has been pretty good out of the more supportive roles in Na'Vi, and Buster, this is the weirdest part of the picks, because Buster is the IGL. And yeah, I mean, he's a good rifler. He plays well within the system at Virtus.pro, but is he an IGL that's worthy of a top team? I don't think that matters. I think on a team like this, where you have this much firepower, as long as you keep your stars happy and give them the roles they want, you're going to win games. If Simple could carry Liquid to major finals and win entire events essentially for Na'Vi, I'm pretty sure this team will perform just as well, if not better, making them bona fide elite contenders. Our next roster comes from Jean-Seb, who he's put forward an NA super team. And what's controversial, I think, is that, well, we'll see. I'll explain when I explain the team. So the roster is OC, who is the AWPer, I assume, Elige, Naf, Tariq, and Stu. We're reuniting Stewie and Tariq and asking them to share in-game leadership roles, as well as, you know, being the supports for the team. We're taking Naf off of the AWP, like completely, and we're giving it over to OC, who currently plays for Extra Salt. He used to be on that Cloud9 roster that, well, weren't very good, but then decided to stick together anyway, because, I don't know, friendship. They're clearly not staying together for the titles. I think the fact that NA does not currently have an elite AWPer is the biggest problem this team faces. OC is alright. He puts up good numbers against tier 2, but he's not... When we're talking about super teams, we're not talking about fucking OC, are we? So I think that limits this team from being elite. They are probably top 10 though. I mean, with that rifle talent, you're gonna get wins, you're gonna have results. It's just a question of where within the top 10 I'd put them, especially compared to my tier list. You know, it's probably better than all these teams in top 10, honestly. They're better than Extremum. At the time, what I thought of this new Extremum roster was pretty high. From what we've seen, they're going to take a while to adjust, but for now, this NA Super team is good enough to be at the top of the top 10 rankings I currently have. Man, if they had a fucking good AWPer. If only Wardell hadn't ran off to Valorant the moment things got tough. Oh well. Speaking of Valorant, we've got another suggestion from Zelinka here that says, why not take G2's Valorant roster, which is a bunch of, well, ex-Counter-Strike players, and put them back into Counter-Strike. His roster is Mixwell, Ardis, Patitek, David P, and Pith, or Pauth, or Pith, or Puth, or some... The Swedish guy who was in NIP back in like 2016 who was not good. The team has since made a change, so David P has actually gone inactive, and they've brought in some kid no one's heard of called Zeek. I don't think he was a CSGO player. Let's assess it with David P. Let's make it, you know, thematically ex-CSGO players. Yeah, not a hard decision to make. They're garbage. The best out of all these players was Mixwell. He was getting kind of shit towards the end, and yeah, that's why he went off to Valorant, to be honest. None of these players had real excellent careers in CSGO, and that's the main reason they left. Finally, we have a roster suggested by Mirzach. Now, if you've watched my stream, you'll know that Mirzach is the Balkan Zipex, or the 60 FPS god. He's he's quite the Counter-Strike monster. And he's put forward a roster of, well, he's called it Shit Players plus Zello. So the roster is Leaf, IM, Zello, Esperanto, and Emmy. Now, calling all of these players shit is a bit harsh. Leaf has shown some potential. Esperanto has shown himself to be a very good player when he gets on a team. It's a bit harsh to call them all shit, especially seeing as, from what I've seen, Zello's not even the best player. I honestly prefer Esperanto, so to call this shit players plus Zello is quite a stretch. So where do I think this team ranks? Well, they're all pretty young, the players that are featured on this team, and they've got some developing to do. But I think they are genuinely skilled. So the question is, do I think this team can perform immediately the moment they're put together, or will they need 2 years? Essentially, that's the decision we're making here. And I think this is the perfect team to christen our new tier. It means we can't really write them off. See, putting someone in NACS basically means you're mediocre and you're never going to achieve anything more. It looks lower down, but it's a more generous ranking to give someone. They've got a lot of skilled players. They could be good one day. For now, they're not. Okay, that's all the teams we have for today. Now, leave yours in the comments if you want to see it next week. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Sub if you want to see more. Stay notified for when the next episode comes out. And yeah, that's all for this one. Goodbye.